Okay, so today we're going to look at a couple different ways that we can disrupt a pattern. I like to say to disrupt is divine, because the only way that we can get out of a negative energy loop, negative feeling, self-defeating, reactive or reactionary state is to disrupt the energy pattern we are in. If we are in one of those states, chances are we are not in a whole brain capacity. We've been dropped into a fight, flight, freeze reaction to some degree, and our lizard or limbic brain is running the show. It's a really challenging place to make conscious, conscientious, or balanced decisions from. It's also a very challenging place to connect to ourselves and to others from. So the best way I know to get ourselves out of that state is to disrupt the energetic pattern that was created that got us into the state in the first place. There's a couple different ways we can do this. The first is called a hookup or a whole brain posture. This is usually good if you've got a couple minutes, at least 5 to 10, to disengage from life and to come back into ourselves. And it's simply a crossing of the legs at the ankles, crossing of the arms at the wrists, clasping the hands, thumbs down, dropping that clasp into our lap, or if it's more comfortable, you can fold under and up and rest the pinky fingers against the chest. Now, I don't recommend this if you're driving, operating heavy machinery, or if you are scattered and just don't have a minute to come back to yourself. This is really good if we've got time in a transition, heading to bed, getting off of work, maybe even getting ready for something. If there's a presentation or a report that we need to do and we're in an agitated state, we can drop into this before we get into potentially a challenging energetic place to set the stage for success. So we can use it as a prep or we can use it as a recovery. And it's usually good to have a couple minutes carved out for that. There's going to be a link below this video to a more detailed video about whole brain posture and hookup posture. Same thing, different name. So please check that out for a little bit more detail about this one. The next thing we can do is utilize our breath. And this one, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. This is one of the quickest, easiest ones to do. And it's simply 2 short inhalations through your nose, 1 longer, more forceful exhalation through your mouth. This is another pattern disruptor, and we're using our energetic breath as the vehicle by which we are changing our energy. This can be done anywhere. You can be driving, you can be working. You might need to duck out for a quick second if you work with, work in customer service or work with other people, because the breathing might get a little bit loud. But again, if we can carve out just a second or two for ourselves, this one is actually, I think, about a 10 to 15 second method of disruption. So it's simply a couple of different things are happening when we're breathing like this. 1, we are oxygenating our system. So many of us either breathe shallowly, aren't really getting full oxygenated breaths during the day, which can leave us depleted. It can leave us tired. It can leave us cloudy-headed. So there are a number of beneficial factors to breathing in this manner, in addition to disrupting a negative energy pattern. 10 to 15 seconds of that breath, and then let it settle and feel where you're at. If you're still feeling agitated, do another 10 to 15 seconds. If you're feeling like it brought yourself back to a state of balance, check in with yourself, see if there's any other place that you can feel into needing some type of a release. And then you can utilize whole brain if you've got the time. You can do another round of breathing if you've got the time. Or it could be enough to where that breathing got us through this part of the day, and then we can use the whole brain hookup procedure posture when we get to that point. We've got some time. The last one, and some will find this the most approachable, is using our body to disrupt the pattern. And the best way to do that is rebounding. A number of different ways to go about this. Basically, we want to just create some type of a bounce within our system. It's great for lymph drainage, it's great for processing toxins, it's great for getting our entire system flowing more energetically. So running can actually be a great approach to rebounding, and we're incorporating diaphragmatic breathing, so it's a 2-for-1. We're getting double the benefit for a single action. If you've got a mini trampoline, or if you've got some type of a bar and you can bounce up and down using that, that's a great way to do it. If you actually have a full-size trampoline, even better. Full body exercise, maybe using muscles we don't always use. Increasing the breath, we're getting ourselves physically moving. Another way that I like to do it is a little bit of a variation on Qigong approach, which is the heel drop. So if we're practicing Qigong, our knees are bent, tail's tucked in a little bit, so we're kind of getting down on our seat, and we're raising our heels and we're dropping back down. Raising our heels and dropping back down. If we're choosing this more methodical approach, it's very important to feel the rise and drop in every part of our bodies that's part of this exercise. So we're feeling it in our heels, we're feeling it in our ankles, we're feeling it in our calves, our quads, our hamstrings, all the way up. Core engagement. We are becoming more present and aware of ourselves as we are going through the process. I like to switch it up, and this is the way I recommend. You got to do what's right for you, so make sure you're following your own intuition, your own instinct with these. I like it to be a little bit more vigorous and a little bit more disruptive. So here's what you can do. Instead of a slow lower like that, we're actually going to just drop our ankles from that pinnacle of being on the balls of our feet. And we're going to increase the cadence with which we're dropping. So it's going to look like this. Knees bent for stability, tail tucked for balance, up, down, up, down. So you can see and hear, this is more vigorously disruptive. We're moving things a little bit more. We're jarring our system in a good way that we might not often find. This one, maybe 20, 30 seconds. You can even go up to a couple of minutes. We're just looking for an energy shift or an energy change within our system to signify that the process is complete or we're done for right now. It could be that our mind clears a little bit. It could be that the intensity of the feelings of whatever was whatever we were in resistance to or whatever we were not in alignment with have melted away or dissipated. So this is another tool of tapping into our inner state, feeling where we're feeling the things, and then either enabling release through physical expression, quieting the system, or energizing and balancing the system through breath. So these are 3 different ways that we can easily disrupt a pattern. These aren't the only 3. So if you've got some that work for you, please share. This is about finding what works for us. And so the more information that we can share, the better chance we're going to have that we find one or a few that work for us. Until next time, enjoy the practice.